Here's HealthWise with Karen McKay.
Some Texas legislators are going up against social media with a proposed bill they hope will get millions of young subscribers kicked off the social platforms. The proposal would ban anyone under the age of 18 from holding a social media account, period, on any platform. A child psychiatrist at Texas Tech supports the idea because he believes that age-related ban on social media would improve the mental health of Texas teens and prevent tragedies.
For young individuals, this can make or break their day and actually can trigger a chain reaction that has a full emotional meltdown and full behavior problems. I've known kids who have resorted to self-mutilation and making a semi-suicide attempt simply because of what transpired on the social media.
Dr. Jane says when teens use social media, the areas of the brain that are highlighted are the same as if they were using addictive substances. So how could a ban like that happen just in Texas? Well, it would force social media sites to verify the age of the account holder by calling for a driver's license or a state-issued ID. Even if the proposal does not become law, Dr. Jane says it's time for social media to face more regulation. He believes that could also help prevent kids from becoming easy targets for sexual predators. So this idea of a social media ban tied to a state ID is one of the bills we'll be following as the Texas legislature convenes on January 10th.